Hello, and thank you for listening to this episode of the Moore's October Rants. Today's episode is going to be titled Meaning. It's a common impulse to believe that everything in life must carry some form of meaning. We search for significance in events, relationships, and even mundane interactions, as if meaning is a prerequisite for existence. To an extent, that impulse is valid. Meaning can provide structure, comfort, and a sense of purpose. But meaning isn't inherent. It's assigned. And that distinction is crucial. Not everything that happens to us deserves to be imbued with meaning. Some experiences are simply neutral, incidental, or even absurd. One of the most powerful aspects of being human is our ability to choose what matters and what doesn't. We have the capacity to give meaning and to take it away. If something feels irrelevant or harmful, we can strip it of significance and move on. That's not denial. It's agency. Consider a simple scenario. You stop at a gas station on your way home from work, maybe a 7-Eleven. You're tired, maybe craving a snack or a Slurpee. As you pull up to the pump, someone else tries to do the same. They feel inconvenienced, maybe even slighted, and they lash out, yelling, swearing, then speeding off. You're left there, stunned. You could internalize it, let it fester, wonder if you did something wrong. You could let their anger shape your mood, your self-worth, your evening. Or you could choose not to. You could recognize that their reaction is a reflection of their own perspective, not a verdict on your character. This is the essence of perspective. Two people can experience the same moment and walk away with entirely different interpretations. One sees offense, the other sees coincidence. One assigns blame, the other shrugs it off. Meaning is not universal, it's contextual, subjective, and often arbitrary. The same principle applies to religion. If you don't believe in a particular faith, does its existence offend you? Some people react that way, insisting that others are wrong simply because they see the world differently. But belief systems are just perspectives. Christianity, Judaism, Islam, each offers a lens through which to interpret existence. You don't have to adopt a lens to respect that it exists. You don't have to agree with someone's worldview to understand that it's meaningful to them. This is how meaning can be neutralized. By recognizing that it's not absolute, we can choose whether or not to engage with it. If something doesn't resonate, we don't have to force it into our framework. We can let it pass, like weather. That's not apathy, it's discernment. People often forget how much power they have in this regard. They act as though meaning is imposed, as though they're obligated to care about things that don't serve them. Take technology debates, for instance. A new gaming console is released, and suddenly there's outrage because someone bought the older model. They feel cheated, left behind, as if the universe owes them an upgrade, but they have the power to adapt, to change, to buy the new one if they choose. The frustration stems not from the console itself, but from the meaning they've assigned to the situation. This reminds me of nihilism, not the caricature of despair, but the philosophical stance that life has no inherent meaning. There are variations, of course. Some nihilists embrace the void with joy, choosing to enjoy life precisely because it's fleeting and unstructured. Others spiral into negativity, insisting that nothing matters and therefore nothing is worth doing. But there's a middle ground, a more nuanced view. Existential nihilism suggests that while life has no predetermined meaning, we have the freedom to create our own. That's the view I align with. I prefer to call it existentialism because it emphasizes choice, agency, and personal responsibility. Life only has the meaning you give it. That's liberating, not depressing. Imagine someone sitting alone in a padded cell, isolated from the world. To most people, that life would seem devoid of meaning. But maybe that person finds peace in solitude. Maybe they've chosen that existence deliberately. Meaning doesn't have to be social, visible, or validated. It can be quiet, internal, and deeply personal. Think of people who live on large plots of land, far from neighbors and noise. Some would say that's lonely, unproductive, even sad. Others would call it paradise. The same lifestyle can be interpreted as either barren or fulfilling, depending on who's looking. That's the beauty of perspective. Life, for me, is about finding meaning. But that's just my interpretation. Others may see life as a playground, a battlefield, a mystery, or a joke. Some people don't search for meaning at all. They just live, moment to moment, doing what feels right. That's valid, too. It's important to recognize that discovering meaning doesn't always improve your life. Sometimes it just satisfies a psychological itch. You research a historical event, uncover the truth, and feel a sense of closure. But does it make you a better person? Not necessarily. It just feels good to know. Human nature leans toward meaning-making. We're wired to connect dots, to build narratives, to explain the inexplicable. But not everyone follows that impulse. Some are content with ambiguity, randomness, and silence. They don't need answers to feel whole. That's another layer of beauty in life. It's diversity. Everyone assigns meaning differently. What's sacred to one is trivial to another. What's traumatic to one is transformative to someone else. There's no universal metric. We must resist the urge to make everything black and white. When someone sees the world differently, it's not our job to correct them. Nuance matters. Gray areas exist, and in those spaces, meaning becomes fluid, adaptable, and deeply human. My view is just one among many. I believe that meaning is a choice, not a mandate. I believe that perspective shapes reality more than facts do. I believe that autonomy is the foundation of emotional resilience, but I also understand that others see things differently. Some crave structure, tradition, and certainty. Some need external validation to feel grounded. That's not weakness, it's a different mode of existence. The key is not to impose your meaning on others, nor to let theirs define you. The key is to recognize your own power, to assign, revoke, and reshape meaning as needed. That's not selfish. That's survival. Meaning is not a fixed currency. It fluctuates with time, context, and emotion. What mattered deeply last year may feel irrelevant today. What seemed trivial yesterday may become profound tomorrow. We are meaning makers, not meaning slaves. We are not obligated to carry every insult, every disappointment, every misunderstanding as a burden. We can choose what to hold and what to release. That choice is not always easy. It requires self-awareness, discipline, and sometimes solitude. But it's worth cultivating. Because once you understand that meaning is yours to define, you become less reactive, more intentional, and ultimately more free. You stop giving power to strangers at gas stations. You stop letting outdated consoles ruin your day. You stop needing every moment to be profound. And in that simplicity, you find something deeper than meaning. You find peace. Not everyone will agree with this. Some will argue that meaning must be discovered, not created. Others will insist that truth is objective, not interpretive. That's fine. Let them. Their meaning is theirs. Yours is yours. And that, perhaps, is the most meaningful realization of all. Anyways, thank you for listening to this episode of the Moors October Rants. Signing out. Have a good one, guys. Goodbye for now.